In this video, we're going to be talking to you guys about what goes into the perfect games room in your Airbnb.
So oftentimes a games room is going to be in a garage or like in a big, large area. And one of our favorite things to do is utilize paint and take it a step further and actually color drench the entire walls, floor, and ceiling. So don't be afraid to go all out and just totally transform and color drench the entire space. And to add on to the point with paint, don't be afraid to use like a bold kind of like moody color, especially for a games room. You want to lean more towards appealing to everybody because there will be adults and kids hanging out in there, and don't like make it too kiddish just because you think games room.
There's a time and a place for a kid's games room, and if it calls for it, great, but not always the case. Next is lighting. People, I think, are not thinking in terms of moody lighting and layered lighting for a games room. Having just one ceiling light above is not good enough. You want a really nice statement light for the ceiling light. Then you really want to layer in other lighting styles. So floor lamps are huge, especially in a larger games room where there is only one ceiling light. You're going to have really dark corners, especially if you've color drenched in a moody color. See where those dark spots are and use floor lamps. In your seating areas, make sure you use table lamps to create that sort of bar vibe if that's the style that you're going for. Get those little tiny LED touch lamps for the middle of the table. All of those different types of lights work together beautifully and create a really nice vibe for a games room.
Be mindful of what games you're putting in the games room, because sometimes a floor lamp or even like the chandelier, although we opted to do some kind of glass bulbs in this example, it may not be the best play if you have like basketballs flying around in your games room.
Okay, game zones and seating zones are very, very important. We've seen a lot of games rooms where it's just every game possible has just been shoved into this room. That might be fun for little kids, but it's not a vibe for, you know, large groups, couples, families. You really want to focus just as much on the seating zones as you do on the game zones and sprinkle an even mix of all throughout. You also want to do layered seating zones and varying heights. So do some bar tops with some bar stools, as well as more lower to the ground sofas, accent chairs, and more lounge style seating as well.
Because a lot of the times people in a games room will honestly have the TV on. There's gonna be games, football, baseball games that they'll put on in the background, and it's a great way to incorporate all of that to have that ultimate games room vibe.
So you definitely want to include a photo op moment in a games room. It just completes the space. Usually we always go for either a neon sign, a mural, or a backdrop of some sort. You can get really unique with some of the photo op moments that you can include in a games room because there's just so much you can do and so many avenues you can go down.
One tip to add on to that is don't go with such a generic saying. Do something fun that's going to stand out for, you know, the people in this games room. One of the main important things in a games room are ultimately the games. And sometimes there's going to be many reasons why you choose what you chose. A lot of the times it could be a space plan issue, especially if you're doing a pool table. You have to make sure you have enough room for people to use the queues and walk around. In very small confined spaces, you might opt to do a shuffleboard. So space plan is key to knowing what games you can put in your properties, but also who are your target audience? Are we looking more towards a girl group, or are we looking more towards a guy group wanting to play poker, as well as like kids? And starting there will definitely help you figure that out.
So take a look at this games room example. That includes all of the elements that we just talked about.
If you want to shop any of these items, you can get the link in our description, as well as the beautiful paint that we opted for is called Velvet Cloak by Benjamin Moore.
So that's exactly what it takes to have a successful games room in an Airbnb. If you want a space plan from us, but you want to pick all the stuff yourself, reach out. We will absolutely do that for you. It makes such a big difference. Subscribe to our channel and come follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you guys in the next video.